This says kiss the mic up here, so. You forgot to do that, I think. Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? It is truly my honor to have an opportunity to spend the next hour or two with you guys up here thinking about... I actually do have about 25 pages of notes that I've been taking on my phone for the past 6 months or so. I have started to whittle that down a little bit, and over the last couple of weeks I started writing a more coherent set of comments, and I got it down to just a couple pages, and last night around 11 o'clock was the first time I said it out loud. And sometimes when you write things down on paper and they seem like they're going to be funny, and then you say it out loud and it's just not funny. So I'm going to apologize for the parts that aren't funny that are supposed to be funny, and the parts that were supposed to be poignant were kind of a little funny, so we'll see what happens there. When I was first asked to do this, I solicited advice from lots of different people. I asked a lot of my students. Any of my students I asked? Anybody out there that I asked for advice? All right. I got some great advice from my students, from my family, from my colleagues, from my friends. I also actually wrote all of your kindergarten teachers, and this was about December or January or so, and they slowly trickled their responses back, and by about last week the last response came back, and they all came back with a unanimous decision on what I should tell you, and I'm going to tell you what they told me to tell you here. Stuff's blowing away here. I should also say that I sprung the fact that I was doing this on the sound people 2 days ago, so if you can't hear the guitar, that's okay. You can blame me and not them. So this is from your kindergarten teachers. There'll be something else later from me too. When I was just a little kid, not so long ago, I had to learn a lot of stuff. I didn't even know how to dress myself, tie my shoes, how to jump a rope, how to smile for a picture without looking like a dope. But of all the things I've learned, my favorite of them all was the little poem hanging on the kindergarten wall. If you know this song, feel free to sing along. Of all you learn here, remember this the best. Don't hurt each other and clean up your mess. Take a nap every day, wash before you eat. Hold hands, stick together, look before you cross the street. And remember the seed in the little paper cup. First the root goes down and then the plant grows up. Of course, I imagine many of you have a different outlook on life than you did when you were 6. But I also imagine there are a few of you out there who knew you were going to be doctors when you were in kindergarten, when you were 6, and you're now planning to go off to medical school. Anyone fall in that category out here? 1, 2, 3, a couple people out there. Anyone else planning on going to medical school but realized it later? 1, all right. There's all kinds of good stuff out there. So each one of us, of course, has a unique perspective on the world, a unique outlook on life. And our perspective is not static, but constantly changes throughout our lives. Each decision we make, each person, each experience, whether good or bad, affects who we are and how we view ourselves. Our actions and decisions affect others in the same way. We are forever in flux. Your perspective naturally changes just as a course of living your life, of course. Think about the moment, for example, when you first realized that you were not going to live forever. And I apologize because I realize that moment might be right now for some of you. But how could that not affect everything you do from that moment forward, realizing that you're not going to be on this earth forever? Think about how your time here at JMU has changed your perspective. Those of you who took organic chemistry, when you learned the mechanism for the electrophilic aromatic substitution, I mean, I'm sure you woke up the next morning and realized that the sun was shining in a different way than it had ever shined before. You can also, of course, consciously try to change your perspective. You can do things to look at things in a new way. And there's lots of different ways you can do this. And I'm going to show you a way that I've started doing very recently. And that is to literally look at things in a new way. And I ask you to do this with me now. If you can all turn your head sideways like this for me. You can hold your hat on if you're going to have. All the way. Keep going. There we go. All right. Okay, now everybody smile. Can everyone wink at me? Now, you all look really good, but all I see are a bunch of semicolons and closed parentheses out here. So, all right, so stay like that for a second. Everybody else out there too. Yeah, everybody. This is fun. I'm gonna hold my speech sideways. So when you hold your head sideways, especially if you look out at the horizon, you sort of can't help but look at things in a new way. Now, of course, this people and the trees and the building and the grass, they're all there. But now off to one side, you have this big, vast, expansive space, which we don't always look up at. Maybe the people in the physics and astronomy department do a little bit more of that. If you hold your head like this a little bit longer, even for just a moment, you might start to realize how fragile our existence is on the skin of this tiny planet and the vastness of that universe out there. After a bit more time, as the blood starts rushing to the earth-bound side of your head, you might do a few quick calculations and realize that the size of your body relative to the size of the vastness of the universe is almost nothing. It makes me feel very insignificant. Then, as I hold it a little bit longer, as the blood starts rushing away from the sky-pointing side of my head, I use that side of my head to do another calculation and realize that the 7 billion atoms, that's 7 with 27 zeros after it, that's a lot, that's a big number, it's a lot of atoms. Those atoms each had a unique and circuitous pathway that ended up coming together and forming me, who I am right now, and forming each of you, who you are right now. Just as you all came together from your circuitous pathways to come here. I realize I haven't told you can put your head back up yet, but that's okay. So, that's kind of the kind of things that I think about when it's 11 o'clock at night and you realize that things you wrote before were not as poignant as you thought they were going to be before. You start thinking about looking at the world in new directions. But try that if you're ever faced with a problem that you can't seem to get around in some other way. Now, I want to invite a couple of friends to come up here. Are they around here somewhere? Yeah, okay. So a couple of friends are going to come up and help me with this last little part here. Graduation is truly one of those bittersweet events in life. We're here to celebrate your accomplishments, a happy moment for sure. But we also can't help but feel the sadness over the loss of connection to each other in this temporary but significant community we have built together. Speaking on behalf of many of my colleagues, some of whom are joining me on stage here, I know that each of us would really like to spend some quality time with as many of you as possible, particularly those students who we had in class or in the laboratory. We would love to tell each and every one of you how proud of you we really are, and how JMU will never again be the same after your departure. Of course, in reality, with an event of this size, we can't say what we want to say to every single one of you, so the 8 of us or so are going to give you an opportunity to do that right now, to say goodbye to your faculty members. Faculty, you can say goodbye to the students. And we're going to do that in the song. And so there are 3 verses in this song that we're going to do together here. The first verse is actually from the perspective of the parents and the families and the friends, all you out there. So I'm going to ask you, parents and families and friends, you can stand up for a minute now, please. Graduates can stay sitting. So when we do the first verse, everyone in the back, you're going to sing the chorus in the first verse. Second verse is going to come from the faculty. It's a slightly smaller group of people here today, but you guys have to sound just as loud. You've got the chorus on the second verse. And the third verse, the graduates, it's going to be your verse to sing back to everybody else. And I should say that at the end there is going to be we're going to sort of morph into a JMU Dukes cheer that you might know. So if you hear that, feel free to join in with that. I was originally going to teach everybody their part, but I think the chorus of this song is one that many of you probably know well enough that you'll be able to pick it up. And if you don't know it well enough, listen to the people around you, and we'll see what happens. All right, so this is a song, again, the first verse is from the perspective of all the parents and friends and siblings and all the people in the back. So when we get to the chorus, I want to hear you loudly singing, and you can wave too if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. You had to follow our rules, come and go as we choose. We did it 'cause we love you so, even when we made you cry. You graduate. Can you hold that for me? You graduated high school and headed off to JMU and we kissed you. Yeah, we went and kissed you. Goodbye now. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 sing out there. Bye, wave to. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Great job, families and friends. You may sit. Faculty, you may stand. Please, everyone, come here. Sit. Okay, this is from the faculty to the graduates. Then you came to JMU. No one to tell you what to do. You'd better read that syllabus, kid. Your physics tests are on Sundays. Your newfound freedoms lost to professors, your new oppressors. But it's time, yeah, it's time to kiss them goodbye now. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. All right, wait. I want to hear louder out there. Face the graduates. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Everybody wave. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right, nice job, faculty. You may sit. Graduates, it's your turn. Please stand. This is your verse. Back to the faculty, back to your families and friends. Now it's really our turn. It's time to use what we have learned. Duke spreading out all over the world, painted it purple and gold. Though we'll be gone, those memories will linger on, though it's time. Yeah, it's time to kiss them goodbye. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, everybody else join in this one. Everybody else. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Waving. Na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Here we go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. One more. Congratulations, graduates.